I mean, you could see it on my face, like, what the frick? Why am I not getting out? What is happening? That is what it's like when you have low liquidity, where you're trying to do what you want to do, but you can't get someone to do the other side of the trade. You've got to have liquidity. I sent Mark and Mahesh a note this morning because I did some analysis and I was blown away. Blown away, blown away. So what I did was I took my portfolio and just filtered out the stocks that had met the master key versus had not. And then after I did that, I also adjusted position sizing. And I sent this to Mark and I'm like, Mark, Mahesh, you guys, this is unbelievable. Exact same trades, filtering out the only thing I did, kept all my trades, with the only thing I did was filter out all the winners and all the losers that were not during the master key. Master key meaning the SPY showing a buy signal, the market breadth being bullish, and the sector breadth of that stock being bullish, right? And my returns would be, as of today, 84.87%. Now I'm not there, but 84.87% in an ideal scenario, getting only the master key being the difference. And then of course, adjusting position sizes. But the real key thing here that I sent to Mark is I'm like, Mark, well, it's Mark and Mahesh, but Mark and I were chatting on it. I said, more importantly than an 85% win rate, more importantly than an 84% year-to-date return, it's on 20 trades and not a single losing month. 3% January, 5%, or I'm sorry, 9% in May, 12% in July, and so far 34% in August. So no, that's real world what my portfolio would have looked like had I had the master key at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, holy balls, this is something special. I am so stoked about this. So when I kept telling you guys, wait on the master key, I mean, legit, the numbers are not lying. Like, I am so stoked to be a part of this. I'm so stoked you're part of this too, right? Let me know how your portfolios are doing. I'd really love to hear. Peter's here. Dave's here. Dave and I had a nice conversation on Friday afternoon. Dave, it's really great to meet you. Goran had a great question in the Discord that I want to cover here in just a moment. Sebastian, good to see you. Randy's here. Donna's here. Michael's here. Howdy, howdy. Brian, hey Brian, congratulations on winning the weekly winner circle. April's out today, but she should be able to get you there on tomorrow probably. Other Michael's here. Jean-Louis is here. Jean-Louis was throwing some major brain power up in the Discord, and Mahesh jumped in on that, talking about some things that I had never even heard of. So very interesting. Me to learn more about that. Dave says it was his pleasure. Okay, so let's jump into Goran's question. Can I elaborate once more about extrinsic value? How are you calculating it? What are you dividing with to get percentage? Also, rolling options. I tried figuring out from the YouTube, but it's blurry. I know it streams at 1080p, but it's not like perfectly perfect. So I get that. Also, when rolling options, same question. In my exchange, I have time value. What's the difference between those two? Okay, very, very good questions. Ryan says, thank you. Oh, she did send it already. I'm pleased with the potential daily trades that OVTLYR can provide. RF entry on the pullback today has been really good. Oh, I saw that regions this morning. Yeah, that was on my list for today as well, actually. Very cool. And Sebastian said he's up 12% in a week. I'm telling you guys, this master key is legit. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. So let's go step by step through Goran's question. Can I elaborate once more about extrinsic value? For sure. So we're going to jump into, we'll go with XLF. This is one we're in right now, the 42s. We rolled from the 41s to the 42s. So the way you calculate extrinsic value, and let's set a couple definitions real quick. Extrinsic value versus intrinsic. With an option, every single option has both extrinsic and intrinsic. Intrinsic is how deep it is in the money. Extrinsic is all the other factors. right? The intrinsic is the moneyness of it. Extrinsic is everything else. So the way we calculate intrinsic, the moneyness of it, is you take the current price, okay? Current price at 44.53 minus the strike price. So let's do that. Easy math. 44.53 minus 42. So it has $2.53 of moneyness to it, of worth to it, okay? But you can see here, it's not priced at that. Mid price is at 282. So the difference here, 253 and 282, that is your extrinsic value. That's the everything else value. That's the time value, right? There are other factors baked into it, but most of it is time value, right? There's some volatility value. There's some, what is the word I'm thinking of? It's rho, which is, that's one of the Greeks. It's, rho, I know what it is. I'm trying to explain it. It's a factor of interest rates built into it, which clearly won't do a whole lot with this. But you've got delta. There's all the Greeks out there. There's theta, like Randy's saying. Yeah. So your extrinsic is mostly theta. Now, one of the key things here, and I had this conversation with Dave the other day, is that you want to minimize theta. Theta is on every options contract, whether it's in the money or out of the money. And on every options contract, theta goes to 0, period. No matter what, will go to 0. Okay? So everything out of the money here is 100% extrinsic value. And if the price doesn't go any further, these all go to absolute 0, worthless, worth nothing. Okay? So you want to maximize the amount of intrinsic value. When people buy out of the money options, they do that because they want them to go into the money, right? And the conversation I had with Dave was like, listen, I would rather have one 80 delta option versus 4 20 delta options. Okay. Let me show you what I mean by that. 180 delta option, let's say that's the 190 or the 43 versus 4 times 46s. Because every single bit of this is extrinsic value. Yet 37 cents out of $1.92 is extrinsic value. Okay. In Tastyworks, it just does the calculation for you, but you could do the same thing with math like we just did a minute ago. Now, let's see, 13 times 4 is 52 cents. So you're actually paying more in extrinsic value than you are in this one. Okay. Now, yeah, it sounds awesome. Hey, I'm going to have 4 times as big of a position, but you're not. You don't. Because the delta value is how much the option price changes for $1 move in the stock. So equivalent 20 to 80 is 4 times. Okay. But in the process, you're taking significantly more risk because your extrinsic value is higher and there's less likelihood it's going to be worth anything than this one that's already in the money. So very good question. And that was something I learned directly from Larry Hite, one of the original market wizards, was look, that 80 delta option is worth so much more to me than 4 20 delta options. And that's the one you really want to be, that's the one you really want to be more mindful of. Let's see, Leo's here. I see a new name, David Brand. The cost of carry is also built into there. David, glad you made it. Thanks for joining on. Ryan says the 80 is greater than 17, not just in cost, but also, in my opinion, the value of the option is a higher value option to go with that over the 4x at the 20 delta. All right, now let's go on to the second part of his question. How are you calculating it? We talked about that. What are you dividing to get the percentage? So in here, my limit is it's not a hard limit. It's just like a ballpark, right? Hard limit is like 30% or less. Ballpark is I want 20% or less. 20% of this total value here, 20% of extrinsic being the total. So when I do my divisions, he was asking about, let me clear this. I'm taking, we're in the 42s. So I'd be taking 29 cents over $2.86. So 29 cents of extrinsic divided by 286. That means 90% of this is intrinsic. 90% of this is valuable. The other 10% is decayable. will go to zero. So I want to minimize that amount, right? I want to take as little extrinsic value as I possibly can while still maintaining the trade that I want to have. Okay. Of course, you can go way deep in the money, right? You could go to basically 100 delta, but you're still going to have some extrinsic value because all options have some bit of extrinsic value. And that really doesn't help you out at all. So generally where I go to is the 80 delta. And in this case, it was the 80. Now it's up to the 87. Let's continue on with this question here. Also, when rolling options, same question. So same thing here. I pop this open. I keep my liquidity standards, which are at least 21 days expiration, 250 or more open interest, less than 50-cent bid-ask spread, 20% or less extrinsic, and around the 80 delta. And I definitely say that right here. Same liquidity standards. Okay. Now, Friday was a great example of a stock that wasn't super liquid. In GEN, GEN. If you go back and watch Friday's live stream, I got a bit flustered. I was a bit frustrated because I made an honest to goodness trading mistake. I sold to open versus buy to open. Very easy to do. They're close to each other on the buttons. But then I had a very difficult time getting out. Thankfully, I only managed to lose 12 cents. So whatever. I didn't even count it in my, in my trading record because 12 cents happens. But I mean, you could see it on my face. Like, what the frick? Why am I not getting out? What is happening? That is what it's like when you have low liquidity, where you're trying to do what you want to do, but you can't get someone to do the other side of the trade. You've got to have liquidity. Got to. So let's go through how to roll an option, because we will do this in a moment here, I think, or at least I think we will. So when the stock moves one ATR in your direction. So in fact, let's go check that out real quick. We did this in XLF, right? It was at 43.82 when we got in, and it went up to 44.41. And so I rolled up from the 41 to the 42. And as one order, I sold to close the 41s, bought to open the 42s. Same liquidity standards, right? Tons of liquidity, very low extrinsic value. And I was able to do it for a credit. The credit that I did it was how much? 80 something cents. I got to look at my records. 93 cents. 93 cents I rolled it. So it's one order. I sold to close, then I bought to open, and it took partial profits now, right? It allowed me to get in XLF. It gave me capital to free up if I wanted to take on more trades, and it kept the trade on. So it was a fantastic move. Goran says, I bought GEN. It's up over 2%. Dude, I'm glad you were able to do it. I just got... After that experience I had, I was like, F this guy. I'm not trading him. But yeah, well done, dude. So that is rolling options. And your exchange only has time value. That's really almost exactly everything that is extrinsic value. There are some things baked into it, but that's pretty much it. So good question. All right, now let's get busy, because I think we're gonna have a lot to do today. All right, welcome to the Outlier Trading Room. This is smart trading made simple. Save time, make money, start winning with less risk. That's what I like to call profit hacking. Now, you can get a copy of the playbook over at profithackingplaybook.com or inside our VIP Investors Toolkit in the Discord. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christopher Yule. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I've been successfully trading since 2009. I'm a partner with Outlier, and this is my style of trading using the Outlier data. And I like to call it the golden ticket trading strategy. It's the 8 steps to turn profit hacking into pure gold. Hey, if you're new, like David, just double check real quick that you are subscribed, because I'd hate for you to miss out, because we go live every single day. Now, the golden ticket trading strategy starts with the master key, with the SPY having a buy signal, the market breadth being bullish, or at least in the same direction as the signal, and the sector breadth as well. Let's go take a look at that real quick. The SPY still has the 10 over the 20, price over the 50, so the market is still pushing higher. We're very close to new all-time highs on the SPY. On the market breadth, you can see here, this is continuing to grow as well. So this is also bullish to me. And then I went through all the sector breadths, And only staples and utilities are not bullish right now. Everything else is bullish. Staples and utilities are bearish. So I won't take anything in those two sectors. So the next step is the 10 over 20, price over the 50, like we talked about. So that's good there on the SPY. Next is the bullish crossover. That's good there. Now, before we take on any new trades, I want to reduce risk before adding anything new. I have a lot of criteria that I look for here. And so the first thing I want to look at is the 10 EMA, the half ATR, or if we're running into any order blocks. Ooh, go back. And the outlier heat map if that has stalled. So let's see. Let's go through what we have on right now. So XLF, not under the 10, not under the half ATR from when we rolled. And let's go to here real quick. Okay, Goran says, I still do not understand what is extrinsic value. So Goran, let's go back real quick. There's two components, right? Imagine, this will do. Okay, imagine there's two parts of the options value, okay? This is the intrinsic. This is the in the money. There. This is the in the money part of it, okay? So this is calculated from the current price to your strike price, right? So if the current price is 45, your strike price is 42, you have $3 of moneyness. Everything above and beyond that $3 is extrinsic value. Everything above and beyond the moneyness is extrinsic value. And this goes to zero every single time. It will absolutely start to decline, to decrease, to go away in value. So the more of this you buy, the more of this is going to evaporate. Okay? We want to have as much in the money as possible on the option value. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. So we want to maximize intrinsic, minimize extrinsic. So let's look at XLF real quick. We want to sell into strength at G17 or higher, which is at G11 yesterday, G14 today. So not quite there yet, but it's getting pretty close. So XLF, we're not going to roll, so it stays on. Sabrina, glad you're here. FI, this one this morning, I thought we'd be able to roll. In fact, let's look at the 5-minute chart. I was curious to see if it had started to come back. It's within about 30, 40, 50 cents or so. Let's see if we can price out rolling FI. We might be able to. All right, currently in the FI 160s. Now we got in at 907, or at least that was the price I got in. It's currently at 1085. And let's say if we sold to close the 160 and bought to open, so I wouldn't do this one because it's only got 3. I'm sure you can see this. Yeah. Wouldn't do this one because it's only got 3. Could do this one here, going from the 160 to 165. Extrinsic $1.68 on 660. So Goran, here's your question here. So 168 extrinsic value over 660. 168 divided by 660 is 25%. Could do that. Sebastian was trying all day at 2:30. Oh, Sebastian, you probably weren't filled because of there's no liquidity there. There's only 3 open interest. So I would look at the next one down. Tug is here. Hey, Tug. So 25% extrinsic value. 25% extrinsic value. That would work because it's got plenty of liquidity. So let's see if we can get filled. If you do get filled, I would love to know where you get filled at. 160 up to 165 on FI. Let me go over here. So we'd be getting out of the 160s into the 165s. All right, I'm going to start it at 4. I'll start at 435, see where I can get filled. All right. 435 is not filled. I thought it just real quick. I thought it real quick just got filled, but it did not. Try again at 430. So we're taking in credit on this. Or where did that go? That was 430. Because we're taking in credit, you would try and sell it for less. Still not filled. There we go. 425 got in. All right, so I just rolled. Oh, damn it. Sebastian, you caught me. I didn't check that yet, did I? Let's check it real quick. Sebastian's doing a better job than me. FI. Heat map is at G36 today. Would have got out at G37 tomorrow. So yeah. All right, so G35 yesterday, G36 today. So to Sebastian's point, when I say I'm going to get out at G37 and it gets to G36, if tomorrow's G36, I'm out because that's a heat map stall. Okay. If it goes up to G37, that's great. I'm also getting out because that's my target. So I would have gotten out tomorrow anyway. So I've rolled that. So no matter what, I'll be getting out tomorrow. In fact, let me drop this in the Discord. Four and a quarter. That's right. Okay. So if I rolled at 4 1/4, current value of this 165 is at what? 660. So I'm currently up 19.56% on this trade on FI. Give me a moment here, update the Discord. This is 826 rolled. FI 160 falls up to the 165 for 4 1/4. Cool. Which gives me 4 1/4 in capital for each option that I rolled up. So a 4 1/4. Yeah. That gives me more to trade with is what I'm trying to say for each option that I rolled up. So I'll take it. All right, on to the next one. Sebastian, I will promise to look at that. CIEN. There's no order blocks in our way. We didn't roll it because we didn't have good liquidity enough to do that last time on Friday. We could try and roll it again today and see what comes through. And it's not below the half ATR. Let's double check before we do that on the heat map. All right, we went from G23 to G25 to G27 today. We would get out of that tomorrow. So we can just hold it until tomorrow. Like I say, tomorrow it's either going to be at G27 or at G28. Either way, I'm getting out. Because if it stalls, I'm out. Or if it goes up, I'm out. So CIEN, plan on getting out tomorrow. And same with FI. XLB, this one was up huge, monster earlier today. In fact, this was one of my biggest trades that I've had the entire year on XLB because the position size that I took was actually pretty big, considering it had a very small ATR. And then it had this huge move, right? The ATR value at, let me show you what I mean. ATR value at $1.25, and it's gone up 91. At one point, it was up almost $4 in the span of a couple of days. I mean, that is a nearly a 2 ATR move, as you see, in the span of a couple of days, which is why I was like, holy crap, that's a huge move for me. So yeah, this morning I was smiling real big. I was like, that is the best trade I've had the whole year on something simple like XLB, just an ETF. But let's see. We hadn't rolled it yet. Let's take a look. It's not at the half ATR. It's not at the 10 EMA. Let's see where it's at. XLB. So this is an ETF. So when it's an ETF, it gives you additional detail. So it takes another minute to load. So yesterday it was at G3. Today is at G5. We got into R0. So my rule is that when I get into R anything, I get out of G13. So it's still got some room to run for me. So I do want to try to roll this up. Tell you what, we're busy day. XLB. Okay. Currently in XLB at the 87s. Got in at 540. See if we can roll it up to like the 90s. So that would be selling the 87, buying the 90s, 275 in credit. That would be great. Extrinsic value, 83 cents on $4 is roughly 20%. Got 20%, 20.7%. So Sebastian said he already rolled it for 93 cents earlier today. You might just roll it up one strike. I'm going to try and go for 3 strikes. 3 strikes. I don't want to get out. Mainly because the liquidity here at 3,000 is a huge step up in liquidity from everything else. So I'm going to try and roll it from the 87 to the 90. So Sebastian rolled to the 88. Got it. Okay. So I'm going to roll this to the 90. Give me a second here. Here's XLB. Okay. Moving from the 87 to the 90. All right. Rolling 87 up to the 90. I'm going to try at 250 to $3. I don't think if you roll it, let me know where you get priced at. 87 to the 90. 275 is midpoint. Let me see. I don't know if I can get 275. I'm gonna try. No, I'm gonna have to go lower. $270 midpoint now. Let me just skip on down to 265. Okay, I'm in at 265. So rolled XLB for $2.65 credit from 87 to 90. 265. Let's put this over here real quick. $87 calls up to the 90. And we did it for 265. That's right. 265. Okay, so let me update my spreadsheets over here real quick. So 265 plus the current value of the 90, which is at just the 90, 385. Means I'm up 20.29% on that trade. I'll take it. All right, so that's everything we have right now. Let me roll up the XLB half ATR real quick. So the half ATR value is $1.21 divided by 2, so 60 cents. Current price is 93.02. So 92.42. That'll do. Okay. And then FI, we rolled it, but we're going to get out tomorrow, but we can go ahead and do the exercise. So 253, let's call it 254 divided by 2, $1.27 minus 169.77, which is where it is right now. $6 or 168.50. that's going to wrap our existing trades. Let's go on. We have 14 minutes to do the next bit. So we're going to have to hustle a little bit. So we're going to run the scanner. Here's the scanner stuff if you want to know. Like I say, I am going to hustle a little bit. So definitely take a screenshot. If you have questions, drop them in the Discord or on the YouTube stream, and I'll be glad to help you out. We got a handful over here. And when I put them in my breadth checker, I guess this is really what it is, the breadth checker. The bad breadth checker. We have 6 that pass. And then when I drop them into Trend Spider on my bull list over here, these 6, and then scan it, the scanner is going to run through. There's no order blocks, no earnings the next 3 days. The price is moving in our direction of the trend, and then it's above yesterday's low. That's taking too long. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 6. Okay. So we're going to just go through them real quick, manually looking, make sure the order block worked, because I know that doesn't always work perfectly. Like this one is right inside of an order block, so I'm not going to trade KMX. I'm going to delete that off of this. You can't do that to a merge cell if I do that. Go RF. This is the one I think Brian was talking about earlier. And I looked at it too. It's about 3.5% away from that order block up there, which I'm interested, right? If it's like 3.5% or so, I'm still interested. I don't have hard rules on that, but 3.5% still gives you a good amount of room to run. For the next one, and then 6% up to this order block here, and then toll. So no order blocks out in the way of that. Okay, so let's start with the highest backtest and work our way down. And I'm going to do this so I can see them both side by side. So I'm looking at this number right here, outlier signal return, because in the scanner, it just makes it super easy to do that now. So this one has the highest historical return, Aries, ARES. So what I want to do now is double check the heat map's not already solved, and then we're going to look on the option liquidity. So let's double check the heat map on Aries. Oh, where's the search bar? There it is. So it's currently, yesterday was R9, today is R7. Okay. Let's go in here. September 20th. There's no liquidity. There is at the 59 delta, but even that's a $1.50 wide, $1.70 wide. I'm not interested in that. Okay. So we're not going to trade Aries. Let's go to the next one. Toll. TOL. Okay, it has some liquidity up at the 80 delta-ish, though isn't looking so good. So at the 77 delta, we got 700 contracts and open interest. But this is over my $10 limit. I generally, it's a self-imposed limit. You could do anything you want, but for me, I wouldn't trade toll. The per option price is just too expensive. G15 yesterday, G17 today. But toll could be great for you if you want to continue on with that. Let's go to the next one at RF. This is the one Brian was talking about. Okay, this one's got some work we can work with here. 1.67 thousand, 5 cents wide, 16 cents is 16%, so I like that. All right, that'll do. Let me go over here real quick. And let's pull up RF. And let's zoom in. We see yesterday it was at G18, today it's a G19. So if it's a G19, I would have a 10-point spread. So G29 would be where I'd look to get out. All right, so RF, looking at the 22 delta, I wouldn't go for the 20 or 21, 22 delta at 77. I'm sorry, not 22 delta, 22 strike, that is a 77 delta. And it's really inexpensive. So one thing you got to make sure is getting the right position size. You do that by going into the VIP Investors Toolkit and going over to here, clicking the power scanner. That's going to bring you this file here. Add in your details and then type in RF, and then that'll do all the calculating of position size for you. Or if you want to do it the hard way, you could do it like this. Take your account balance, multiply by your risk percent, divided by 2 times the ATR to get you a number of shares, and then divide that by 80. Or you can type in 2 keystrokes here and it'll do it all for you. So if you had 400,000, that would be approximately 246 on your position size. So let's put that trade on. So current price is probably gonna have to get filled at $1, even though it says 97 cents. All right, got my position size. And go. Filled at $1. Exactly. Watch everybody else get filled at like 90 cents. That's been my week. All right. So I'm in RF at $1. Current price is $22.82. We'll fill this all in a minute. Just making notes. Okay. Come over here. Open trade. 8/26. Trade number 1. Bought. Same strike or same expiration. RF. 22s, I believe it was. Yeah. For $1 whole dollar. Trading at $22.82. Ah, yeah. See what I mean? All right, cool. We are into RF. Now we still have some work to do. We got 6 minutes, so that's okay. We got time. Let's go to the next highest signal return was SGRY. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like Stingray. Surgery Partners. Surgery Partners. G17 yesterday, or G9 to G9 yesterday, G17. G9 yesterday, G17 today. SGRY. Surgery, not Stingray. No liquidity. Do that. Let's go to the last one. ACN. All right. G3 yesterday, G4 today on ACN. ACN. Got some liquidity. But at the 80 delta, it's a $23 contract. Nope, no thank you. So we won't take ACN. So we did quite a lot today. We rolled FI, even though honestly we could have gotten around not rolling it, but it's okay. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Still going to get out of that tomorrow. We rolled XLB, which still had lots of room to run. We moved up the half ATR on both of those, and then I need to fill in RF, all the details for RF, and we'll be done. So RF got in at 22.82. The ATR value of RF is at 55 cents. So 0.55 divided by 2, call it 28 cents. 22.82 minus 0.28, 22.54. So half ATR down, 22.54. 1 ATR up, so 55 cents up is 23.37. And if it got that high, we would still have a bit of room. Another 55 cents puts us up to 23.92, which would get us solidly in this order block here. Okay, so hopefully we can get that. That would be amazing. I would love that. And then let me add this to my main list. Cool. So we did quite a lot today. And I hope that my explanations of the option pricing were useful. Sorry, we kind of had to blow through this. Mahesh did share an email with me. I can't remember who it was from, but it was a support email. Somebody reached in and was like, hey, Chris goes really fast on this. It's like you've given me the keys to a Ferrari and I don't know how to drive this. And then watching Chris, he's just going around the racetrack as fast as he can. Where do I start? I get that. So if you ever have questions, just let me know, right? Either in Discord or through a support ticket or here on the live stream. Like, my job is to help serve you and to help make you as much money as possible. And we're doing a pretty damn good job at that right now. So I'm very, very stoked about that. So, of course, please feel free to reach out anytime if you have questions. And like Brian says, begin with the replays. Yes, begin with the replays. That's a great point. Brian's been around since day one, November 11th of 2021, was it, Brian? Yeah, I remember. I accidentally, funny story. Now I get out of here. Funny story is I accidentally started my 10-minute trading room service back before OVTLYR bought my company. I had meant to do it on Black Friday, but it went out on November 11th, and Brian signed up within an hour, and I'm so grateful for him. And it's only gotten better with time, dude. I can't. Yeah, like legit. This is heads and shoulders and miles above where it was, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Thank you all so much for coming today. I will see you right back here tomorrow. Oh, quick note, real quick. Friday is going to be really iffy for me. My wife is out of town, and I got to pick up both of my boys. And that means I would have had to have left 20 minutes ago, maybe even 30 minutes ago on the live stream. So Friday's going to be different. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I'll let you know. Y'all have a great afternoon. We'll talk soon.